15th of February, Rabbi Levitt, Gemora. Hey, Phil, welcome back. How was your
Welcome
trip?
back.
Thank you.
Glad to have you back, Phil.
Florida was warm, I presume?
Yeah, comparative to here, I mean, yeah, about 75, 80 degrees. There was a rainy day, and it was 65 degrees. Well, you win some, you lose some, but otherwise pretty much good.
Great, terrific.
Okay. Okay, so let's see where we are holding.
Here I am.
What?
We're still on here I am. We're trying to figure out what here I am means.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay, so so you where should we start from? You want to go from that again, or you want we can go to the answer?
I think that hopefully we're going to get to the answer eventually, but we're going to have this this diversion where they talk about whether or not a witness, you can have a person who's a witness and a judge at the same time. I think we need to go through that and see if after that it addresses this question about here I am.
Okay, so where should we start from the where in the Gemara should we start from?
The Savar Rabbi Akiva.
Savar Rabbi Akiva.
It's in the middle of the page. It's 2 lines above the fat lines. First word in the line is Rabbi, Rabbi.
Oh, but we didn't get that far.
No?
No.
We yesterday we read up until Aval Eid Nasadayin Lo Ka'amar.
Okay. Let's see where that is.
That's a few lines up from there. The first word in the line is Edim.
Edim Haim.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's eight narrow lines up from the spread. This is, by the way, Phil, it's on 90B.
90B2, Phil.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's what we did. Remember, we were going to do the Rashi on the answer that the Gemara gave.
Oh, we were in the middle of the Rashi. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where my note says we're in the middle of the Rashi.
Okay, so that's where we are.
So it's Sharoi Balayla, the Rashi, the Dibur Maskil.
Shra'u Balayla, that they saw, the witnesses saw at night.
Right. So the context was that they brought a case to try and prove or disprove this idea of somebody being a witness and a judge at the same time. And they said that there was a case where a bunch of judges saw the crime, and then the response was, but they saw it at night.
They saw it at night, yeah. Yeah, okay. Okay. Yeah, when I'm hesitating over here is this what the Gemara is saying over here? Is it fixing up the brisa with the judges who saw the crime, or are we saying that this is the case? How does this impact the bottom line is how are we what we have here right now is we have a question on the way that we explain the words of Rabbi Yehuda Nasiya. Because the way we explained his words, that he said, well, I saw that you boxed his ears, and Rabbi Yossi Berglili, he says that you pay him money for that, and so go and give him a monatsuri. And the Gemara said, oh, that cannot be the explanation of what Rabbi Yehuda Nasiya meant, because that would mean that he was acting as the witness and also the judge in the same case. And that even Rabbi Tarfon agrees that it would be not possible to do that. You would have to you'd have to if in the case of the judges that also the Sanhedrin that saw the crime, if they got to at least split up into witnesses and judges, but no witness can be the judge in the same case. Even Rabbi Tarfon agrees to that. So it can't be that that's what Rabbi Yehuda Nasiya was saying. So that was the Gemara's question. And now the Gemara is saying, Kisanya hahi kagon charo balayla. Okay, but the language of the Gemara is clear that we're making our comment about the brisa itself. Kisanya. When we learned that brisa with the judges, the Sanhedrin and Rabbi Tarfon, that was talking about Shara'u Balayla. They saw, the judges of the Sanhedrin, they saw this crime take place at night. Lo meva dina dinhu. So therefore, they can't judge that. They're not going to be able to judge that one. Oh, so now we have to read the Rashi over here. Okay, so we'll see. We'll see. In other words, the way we're going to adjust our explanation of the brisa is going to come out that the words of the brisa are not going to contradict our interpretation of Rabbi Yehuda Nasiya. That's what it sounds like to me. We'll see. Okay. So this we have to work. We're in the middle of working on this Rashi. Ra'u balayla. This is in the narrow lines in Rashi. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lines down. 7 narrow lines down from the 4 wide lines at the top. Everybody got the place?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Lou, you want to continue trying to read this Rashi?
Okay. How about if I get a running start and start at the beginning?
Yeah, of course.
Ulamacharas kishe be'ain kishe ba'in ladin ain danin ella alpi
Right.
Shamua. Okay, so tomorrow and tomorrow when they come.
That's like on the next day.
Yeah, the following morning, in other words.
Right, tomorrow is the next day.
Right.
Okay. When they come to judge, they can only judge in accordance with what they heard. Lefichach tzarich lemaktisan. Therefore, they need a portion.
Tzarich lemiksasan, a portion of them.
A portion of them ayed to be witnesses. Behem ein sham ella gimel, and if there's only three of them, if only three judges witness this crime in the night, tzarich lehoshiv. They're required to cause to sit acherim, others, ula ha'id, and to testify b'panehem, to testify before them.
Yeah, basically, he's saying if you only had three judges, you had a problem. You need the three for them to testify in front of. So you have to have other judges come, other people. You need other witnesses. It's good enough you only have three, because that's when you have to split them up. If you only had three, you got a problem. You got to get somebody else. You need somebody else to testify in front of those three.
Right. Aval ra'u biyom osin. But if they saw in the day what was done, al pi hariyah, in accordance with their sight. In other words, if they saw it in the day, they saw the crime.
I'll turn this off. Wait a second. Got to get to it. I go to mute. Sorry.
The Rebbe Tarfon, according to Rebbe Tarfon, miyad, immediately, the Rebbe Yehuda and Rebbe Yehuda Hanasiya, ke Rebbe Tarfon Salkale.
Spirale.
Spirale. So if they saw it in the day, then Rabbi Tarfon and Rabbi Yehuda Hanasiya hold like Rabbi Tarfon. I'm a little.
Osin apiaria le Rebbe Tarfon. Miad. If they saw the witnesses, if these judges, I guess, if they saw during the day as opposed to at night, so then Osin al piaria, they could do, meaning they could do the din, al pia haria, they could do the din according to what they saw. In other words, they could be the aid and also the dayan together, according to Rebbe Tarfon. Just like we saw that Rebbe Yehuda Nasiya did. The boxing of the ears that Rebbe Yehuda Nasiya witnessed, apparently, we're understanding, took place during the day. And as such, during the day, there's no impediment to being also the aid and also the dayan. The only thing that the Gemora is explaining over here is that the Brisa was talking about a case where the Sanhedrin saw the crime at night.
But I'm confused by the flow because the Bryces start saying they saw it. And therefore, they have to divide. Some of them can witness and some of them can judge.
Right.
So from that, we learn that somebody who witnessed could put aside his witness knowledge and be a judge.
Right. That's what Rashi meant when he said, Ulamacharis, they saw it, right? Rashi, we'll start off the Rashi from the beginning. Shuro Balayla, they saw it at night. The Sanhedrin saw it at night. We're talking about the case of the Brisa. That's what the Gemora's answer is. The Gemora's answer is we're going to explain to you why the Brisa, why Rabbi Tarfon says what he says in the Brisa. We're focused on Rabbi Tarfon over here. And we're saying, because Rashi's going to conclude, he's going to say that Rabbi Yehuda Nasiya holds like Rabbi Tarfon, as opposed to Rabbi Akiva. Only like that we can understand the words of Rabbi Yehuda Nasiya. We cannot understand the words of Rabbi Yehuda Nasiya according to Rabbi Akiva. They won't fit at all. But we could explain that he holds like Rabbi Tarfon. And therefore, we're going to explain the words of Rabbi Tarfon in the Brisa is talking about a case where the Dayanim, the Sanhedrin, they saw the crime at night. So that's what Rashi starts off explaining. Sharo Balayla.
Wait a second. Before we get to at night, what is the Hava Amina that the Brisa is trying to teach us without the at night point?
The Brisa, in other words, this that Rabbi Tarfon says that you cannot be the witness and the judge in the same case. That is talking when the case was the like the case of the Sanhedrin, that they saw the Edis at night.
Well, wait, before you say at night.
Yeah.
That at night is a response. So
that's the answer, right?
Before you say at night, what were they thinking?
Oh, what they were thinking was that whether they saw during the day, whether they saw during the night, you can't be a witness and a judge in the same in the same case.
So the Brisa is a refutation of Rabbi Yehuda at this point.
It was not a refutation of Rabbi Yehuda, but it was a refutation of our interpretation of what Rabbi Yehuda's words were saying.
And our interpretation of what Rabbi Yehuda's words were saying was that he was a witness and a judge simultaneously.
Right.
So the Brisa is refuting that possibility at this time before we go on
right.
to the at night.
Right. Right.
So
the most
at night is going to try and say that the Brisa is not refuting it.
Because we're saying that the Brisa, which says you can't be a witness and a judge in the same case, was talking about a case where the Sanhedrin saw the crime at night. And therefore
but if it saw it at the day, it would be okay.
Yeah.
But we just said if they saw it at the day, it's not okay.
Before the Gemora answers this answer of the Bryce is talking about where they saw at night, we thought that what's the difference whether they see during the day, whether they see during the night? Whether they saw during the day, whether they saw the night, we don't care. A witness to a crime cannot be a judge in that same case.
You can't.
And that's what we thought the Bryce. Right. And now the Gemara is answering, no, that Rabbi Tarfon agrees that a witness cannot be a judge in the same case, was talking about a case where the Sanhedrin saw the crime at night. and specifically in such a case like that, they cannot base their judgment on their own eyesight, what they saw, but they have to hear from other witnesses, and therefore they cannot be both the witness and the judge in that same case, in which the testimony took place at night.
You mean the witnessing took place at night?
Yeah, the witness, right?
Okay, I'm with you.
Now you might ask, well, what's the difference whether they saw it during the day or whether they saw it at night? Why do we have this different halacha like this?
Right.
That's
what Rashi's telling us, right?
That's what Rashi's telling us. That's what Rashi's just explaining the Gemora. It's really the Gemora saying this. The Gemora is saying
right.
that this din of Ein Eid Nasadayan has special implications at night, but during the day it doesn't. And during the day it's okay, according to Rabbi Tarfon. So if you'll ask me what's the difference between the day and the night, I don't know. Also, I'm clueless. I don't know what the difference would be. Rashi doesn't explain it. He's just explaining the words, the simple answer that the Gemora is giving over here. Why it should be like that, we do not know yet. Perhaps the Gemora will go into that, or perhaps the Gemora won't. I don't know. But it's a fair question for sure. It's a fitting question to ask. But now that we have asked it, then we can go on without answering it.
What is the point that Rashi is making about if there are three? I don't see the relevance of that section.
Yeah, okay. So what is Rashi saying over there? Very good. That was also troubling me as well. Okay, so let's continue in the explanation of this Rashi. So Rashi told us they saw at night, Macharos Kajboin Ladun ain't done in Elapia Shmua. So now, since they saw at night, what that means is they will not be able to make a judgment on this case except Alpia Shmua, through what they hear. What do you mean through what they hear? As opposed to what they saw themselves. Meaning that they'll need to make the judgment based upon what other witnesses tell them. So that is the way we understand the Brisa. The Brisa says that Rabbi Tarfon said, split up the Sanhedrin. Let some of them be witnesses and let some of them be judges. You could do that.
But how can any of them be witnesses if none of them saw it?
No, the Brisa says that they all saw it. Sanhedrin shira'u echad shahara gets a nefesh. So we're talking.
But wait a second. What's the point of saying it happened at night if they saw it? I thought the whole point of saying it happened at night is that they couldn't see at night.
Right.
Why can't you see at night?
It's dark.
Could misinterpret what you see.
It was it. No, that's not the point. I don't believe that's the point, because they can't. So we are getting witnesses over here, right? Somebody's giving testimony over here, right? How it is that they saw it at night? Maybe it was inside when there was a candle lit, and that's where the crime was committed. Okay.
So does that put the idea of being at night in another way? Mean something else?
Right. It's in other words, that's what I don't understand about the split over here. I'm understanding that the reason
I
we're
think
not,
there's
we're
an,
not,
I think the night and day issue is that all of the, you know, how, what do you call it? The judging, so to speak, of the case has to be done at day, not at night. So the judges seeing it, it cannot be considered like judging if it happens at night. So that becomes the issue about it. So everything has to be put off to the next day when a testimony can be accepted. You're not really accepting the testimony. So it makes a difference. If they saw it during the day, it's like they can be sort of like a witness as well as a judge, because they can, you know, testify they saw it and it counts as testimony because it's during the day. But they can't do it at night, because at night it's not, it can't be considered like judging. It can only be considered like witnessing.
Interesting.
Can you explain what he just said? I didn't follow.
Okay. So
Try it again, you want the rabbi to say it.
yeah, Phil is making I think he's making an explanation over here of what's the difference between day and night.
Right.
It's based upon the fact that even though testimony is kosher, it's kosher testimony whether whether the witness says he testified during the day, whether he saw the incident during the day, whether he saw the incident at night.
Right.
It's a zman which is kosher le'edus.
Right.
Both Laila as well as Yom is a time which is kosher le'edus.
Right.
But this is not so. This is not so of being a dayan. A case can be judged during the day.
Right.
During the day, but at night, there's no the case has to close. That's why the courts all close early, and you wonder how come they can't take care of this and all this stuff. They're copying the Jewish law. The Jewish law is that they don't, and it's especially it could be. I'm not 100% sure, but it could be that this halacha concerns only dinei nefashos, a capital case, and that's exactly what this brisa is dealing with. It's talking about a case where the Sanhedrin says that they saw a murder take place, so that's a capital case.
Right.
And the idea, just one of the, just to give a sort of a bit of a taste for the reason why this is because I think the commentators explain that they want the judges in this case to sleep on it. They don't want them to make a hasty decision in a capital case, and therefore, if it's going to go into the night, they're not, and they don't want it. They can't take the capital case into the night. They all gotta go home and sleep on it, and then they wake up in the morning, and then they're able to do their judgment.
Would some have to do with the Satan is active at night?
I'm sure it has something to do with it. Sure, it has something to do with it. We can understand it on many different levels. I'm just explaining it on a very simple pshat level, that they want the judges to sleep on it, to not be too hasty in their judgment, in view of the fact that it's a capital case, and therefore they gotta go home and go to sleep and sleep on it, and come back and see if they and see what they think in the morning. So that's one way of understanding okay. So now, how does it relate to us over here? This is what Phil was explaining. Phil is saying that, so therefore, if the testimony was during the day, so the day is a time which is going to be a time which is kosher both for testifying as well as for judging. So that those two things go together. Those two things go together, and then we could say Eid Nasadayim. We could say that he could be a witness, he could be a judge also in the same case. But since the halacha is that in regard to testimony that was testified to at night, since night is not a time for judgment, so there's a gap. And because of this gap, the testimony is not capable of going together with the judgment, and therefore, in that case, we don't allow a aid to also be a dayan in that case, and therefore, is that a little bit of what you said, Phil? This last part?
Yeah.
I'm sure that there's more to it than what I'm saying.
I'm totally confused. What does the gap have to do with anything? Why can't
so
they
you
come
want to
in
know
the
the
next day?
explanation?
Yeah, why can't they come in the next morning and do whatever they do? The same as if the crime happened in the day,
Right.
so then they could go and have the court case in the day. Now you're saying if it happened at night, they can't have the court case in the day because there's a gap. I don't see what
No.
that flows.
No. You can have the court case in the day, but not at night. This is to do with a capital case. We're talking here about a capital case where you can't have a judgment at night. So it's only during the day. In the daytime, you can be both judge and witness, but at nighttime, you can be a witness, but not a judge.
Okay.
Wow.
At nighttime, you can be a witness, but not a judge. I don't understand that statement because.
Well, you can see something. You can see.
How can you be a witness?
You can be a witness, but you can see something happening at nighttime. Nothing to do with being inside a court. You can be a witness to see something happening at nighttime, but you can't sort of turn around and say, "Oh, okay, now judge this. I've seen this murder. It's nighttime. I've seen this murder. I'm a witness. Now go and judge it." You can't because it's nighttime. Can't judge it. You're still the witness, and your testimony will be heard tomorrow morning. It's not difficult. Take a deep breath.
I
Take
think
a deep
it's
breath.
extremely difficult. I'm not understanding what's the difference. If the next morning the witnesses and the judges come, or the witness comes and he says, "Okay, I'm going to be a witness and a judge," why not?
Yeah.
I think the problem with that is that in a sense, it's a question, it's like the judge who, let's assume the judge was wanted to be the witness. He saw it at night, that's like prejudicing his judging the next day.
And why
You
is
know?
it prejudicing his judging if he sees it in the day?
Because during the day, he's allowed to judge, but at night, he's not allowed to judge.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't understand.
Yeah.
You can't put them together.
I understand. I understand also Lou's difficulty. We've made a distinction between the night and the day in regard to testimony and judgment. We have made a distinction, but the question is, why is that distinction why is that distinction relevant at all in this case to say that we're going to say a whole different din in regard to whether they saw it during the day and during the night?
Well,
In other
perhaps-
words, you could also do like if the whole problem is right. If the whole problem with a capital case is you can't judge the capital case at night, fine, don't judge the capital case at night. But what does that have to do with being with a witness being a judge? We won't judge the case at night. Very good, but let him be a judge. Let the one that saw it at night, let him be a judge during the day. That's what Lou is saying. There's doesn't the fact that you can't make the judgment at night. Why should that? Fine, don't make the judgment at night. But during the day you could make it. During the day
Yeah,
you could make it.
Yeah, I think the angle is that during the day you can be both judge and witness, so there's something to be made, some distinctions to be made there. But
Yeah.
at nighttime, there's no distinction to be made because you can only be one thing, and that's the witness. So nothing can be done with that. There's nothing to do there. But at daytime there is.
For example, if the Sanhedrin all saw this during the day, they saw the crime during the day, should we allow the same judges who saw the murder also be able to testify to the murder and on their own on the basis of their own testimony also judge the murderer? Does that make sense to say that we should do that?
Now, Rabbi Tarfon separated them. Some
Rabbi
for witnesses and some for judges.
Well, our answer is that we're saying that the reason why Rabbi Tarfon separated them is precisely because of the fact that that they saw the murder at night. So the Gemora is answering that the only reason that Rabbi Tarfon made the split is because of the fact that they all saw the crime at night. But had they seen the crime during the day, then they could, according to Rabbi Tarfon, there would be no problem with them all being able to judge based upon their own eyewitness witnessing of the murder. So is there a logical reason why that would be? Could we explain that?
No.
We couldn't. See, so this is Lou's difficulty over here.
Hmm.
That's what we're saying. That's what's coming out over here according to the way the Gemora is answering the question. According to the way the Gemora is answering the question, we're defending the interpretation of the words of Rebbe Yehuda Nasiya, that he in fact was the witness and he was the judge in the boxing of the ears case.
But that wasn't a capital case.
True, wasn't a capital case.
Oh, so that throws the presumption about nighttime in the trash can.
About
But
what?
still,
Didn't we say that the reason that you can't judge at nighttime is only in a capital case? Otherwise, you can judge in the nighttime?
yeah, we're now we have a question about that. Very good. Very good. In other words, do we need to say that Rebbe Tarfon saw and judged during the day, or we could even say that he saw at night and he judged during the day? Does it matter?
Or maybe we can say he saw it at night and judged at night.
Since it's not capital.
It's not a capital case.
Right. According to what we said, then that would follow. Correct.
So that makes it even less clear why nighttime matters.
I think in the note there, and it's getting late here, it's sort of what I was saying about the catch. The phrase here is if a judge, testifying judges cannot adjudicate the case because a witness who testifies may not act as a judge for the same case, according to Rebbe Tafel. So that becomes the problem about the night, because at night, he really is a witness first, and then he can't be a judge once he's a witness. I think we'll have to finish, catch up tomorrow because it's getting late.
Very good. Okay.
Okay, take care, be well.
Yasher koyach, everyone.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Have a great Purim cutting.
Yeah.
Hey, gonna go have my cup of wine with lunch.
Good. Very good. L'chaim.
L'chaim. Okay, go to.
Bye-bye.